Hello everybody, welcome back to another UFO 50 video. Today we're going to be looking at the community forum ranking all the different UFO 50 games. So I'm going to say what my favorites are, and then we're going to see what the community thinks overall, and sort of audit that. But yeah, I'm going to play some UFO 50 background music. It's going to be kind of a chill day. Alright, below you'll find a list in chronological order of all the games from UFO 50. Please rank each game on a scale of 1 to 10. Alright, Barbuda. I think it's a solid 7. I think I have to give it a 10. I mean, it's a little ridiculous once you get towards the end of the streak, but aside from that, it's just a very solid game. Infect? Yeah, I'll give it a 10. Paint Chase, that's probably 5. Magic Garden, that's a 10. Yeah, I'll give Mortal a 10. Mortal's really good. Velgris, that's a 10. Zoldath. I'd say it's a 6. It's a little bit better than Paint Chase. Tactic, yeah, that's a 10. That's a 10. Kick Club. I'll give it a 4. I'll be a little charitable. Why not? Let's see. Avianos, that's a 10. Mooncat, that's a 10. Kushida Ball. I'll give it a 9. Black Koala, that's a 10. Camouflage, that's a 10. Campanella? I'd give it an 8. Galfaria... I'll give it an 8. Yeah. Big Bell Race, that's a 10. Warp Tank, I'd give it an 11 if I could. Waldorf... I feel like 8 is probably what it deserves. Corgi... Onion Delivery... Ooh, Caramel. That one's actually a bit hard. It has some good moments. First stage is kind of brutal. Finding the secret is actually pretty tough, but I don't know if I'd consider that a good or bad thing. I think it probably gets like an 8. Party House, easy 10. Hotfoot, Divers, Rail Heist, Banger, yeah, Pinball, Mortal 2, Fistel, Overbold. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 9. Camp and L2. I think 7. I was thinking 6, but probably 7. It has some weird choices in it, so I feel a bit hesitant giving it a 10. 10 is what I consider to be pretty good. Oh, Star Wasper they put in this list. You know, that's nice of them just to put it in the list, honestly. I don't know if I'd go that far. Grimstone. If it had a little bit less grinding, it might be a 9, but it's an 8. Actually, it's a 7. I gotta take a point off for the awful final dungeon insta-kill enemies. 10 seems a little high for Disconia. It's pretty fun. The CPU is totally unbalanced. I think a 9 is fair. Night Manor... I don't know if it deserves a 10. It has some like really weird leaps in logic, but that's kind of just adventure games. All adventure games are like that. Alright, so I'll go through and explain why I think each of these deserve their ranking before I submit. So first off, Barbuda. It's fun, it's like ultra slow, it's very cryptic, which I kind of like about it. It feels very unique, so I'd feel bad giving it like a rating under 5. But it's just, it's so cryptic and it's so not nice, like the starting room killing you. Although I guess if any room would kill you, you'd want it to be the starting room, because that's the easiest place to reset on. I don't know if you should lose all your items on death and all your money. That seems a bit harsh. The ending just being a game over screen is pretty funny. Yeah, I think 7's where it belongs. Bug Hunter... I played the heck out of Bug Hunter. Bug Hunter is just like one of the best strategy games ever made. I don't think I could put it below 10. Ninpak. 10 might be a little high, but I do love some new Moonpeck. Ninpak is just such a solid game. It's so hard, like, trying to make a classic arcade game in today, here and now. Like, Annalyn managed it. I don't know if there's any other, like, classic arcade games releasing, but Ninpak is really, really good. The first row has some, like, insanely high quality titles for being, you know, the first row of this fictional game company. Paint Chase, I love the cutscenes. I like the game. Just awful difficulty spikes. Awful cherry requirement. I mean, I guess it used to be harder, but I really don't like just having to memorize levels and get 100% or whatever. I don't know. Paint Chase just rubbed me the wrong way. It has cool mechanics. I like the boosting. I like the power-ups. I don't know if I like that the power-ups only reset if enemies go on top of them, and the game never teaches you that. It's just kind of a rough game with, like, a cute idea. And I want to like it, but it's just... It's hard in an unfun way. It's hard in a way where you don't know if you're going to win unless it passes some arbitrary mark that the game makes up on the spot. Maybe if it showed you before you started the level how much you needed, but it's just rough. Magic Garden. Yeah, just another perfect arcade game. This is one of the most fun speedruns I've played, and I can't stop playing it. Mortal. Mortal is another just genius game. It's just so well done. You know, you got all these lives, you have to figure out the most optimal way to get through levels. You can kill enemies, which will get you more lives. You have to, like, strategize. It's like a 2D platformer, but it's really more of a puzzle game. And I love 2D platformers. And it has that whole slowly getting your lives up and going for the cherry of 75. I feel like this game is just the perfect difficulty. There's nothing that feels like overly BS. Yeah, Mortal, just super solid, 10 out of 10 game. Valgress, I don't think I could give it below 10. I love it too much. Even though the star blocks are awful for speedrunning, the actual game is just so good. It's just Downwell, and Downwell is amazing. Although I don't know if I ever beat Downwell. I played it a few times. It's pretty fun. But Valgress clears it. Valgress is just so much snappier. Downwell, it feels like too much resource management with the shots and stuff. Whereas Valgress is just a very pure, fun game. Yeah, plain as Zoldath. 6 might be a little low. Zoldath is just... it's rough. It's rough in the same way Barbuda is, where it's ultra cryptic. There's nothing that tells you that you can talk to friendly NPCs, like I didn't know that, so the game was just uncompletable for me. I like the cherry, I like that it forces you to be fast and kind of route stuff out. I like that it's a roguelike. I don't like that you die in one hit. I don't like a lot about it. I don't like only having 2 item slots. Yeah, I don't know. Soldath is really hard to defend. I wouldn't say it was unfun, but it wasn't fun. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Zolda. Alright, tactics. Easy 10 out of 10. It does kind of drag, you know, those last few missions when you don't even have archers and you have to throw in those exploding guys. Yeah, that part does suck a little bit, but the actual gameplay of it, you know, you're down like an extra guy, you have to strategize and like move your archers, move your spear guys back so that they can hit without getting hit. Try to clear a path so that you can set up all your guys in a line to kill the flag. Yeah, just really solid strategy game. And the rank mode is great. Surprising amount of modes for it as well, especially for an early game. Tactics gets a 10 out of 10. Demolition. I don't think I played this after getting the cherry, but very satisfying little game. You make these big Rube Goldberg machines to kill as many monsters as you can. If you get them all, you get an extra villager, which makes it easier because you get more points, and that's a space enemies can't spawn on. But also you have to avoid them with your own monsters. And then the final boss is that cool dragon, and it's actually pretty hard, but really fun. Oh, here's my song coming on the OC. Alright, Kid Club. I might have ranked it a little bit high at 4 out of 10. This is another game that just... great art. You know, the gameplay is pretty good. I like the ball, I like the different moves you can do with it. But it's just so awkward to play. Like, all the enemies, all the bosses, they just shoot out projectiles with no warnings. You just die. Look at the final world, America world, it's just trash. I think that one world, like, totally discolored my opinion of this game. Because it can be fun. It can be fun, I get what people like about it. But it just sucks so much when you get to that final world and there's just so much BS in it. It's just like suffocating. And you have to listen to that like happy music while a football reflects and it travels like the entire screen twice in a millisecond. And then it bounces really weird off this corner here, and then oh, it hits you, and you duck, and then it goes boom, 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 and it comes back. Ah! Get me out! I don't even want to think about it. Get me out. Avianos. 10 out of 10. Yeah. It's fun. It lags more than any of the other strategy games. More than, Block Koala. But the mechanics behind it are very fun. You get to decide which dinos to invest in, what do you want to go after, do you want to try to rush them and just invest in moves, and try to capture castles with one dude in them, and then reinforce them after. I like it because it just gives you so many options. That's why I think Avianos is one of the best strategy games in the collection. Mooncat! That's another easy 10 out of 10. The only thing I don't really like about it is, it's very cryptic, just like Barbuda. But the movement is amazing. There's so many options. There's the slide, the jump, the run forward, the dunk through platforms. And there's just so much love and care put into the game. And it's so forgiving compared to other UFO 50 games that, if you do have trouble with like these type of games, this is like the perfect game to start with. Yeah, Mooncat, just really solid, short platformer with tons of secrets. I don't think there's anything to complain about in it. This is really just a nice version of Barbuda. I can't really think of anything Barbuda does better than Mooncat. I guess Barbuda has items. Yeah, that's like the only thing. items and money in shops and stuff. Bushido Ball. 9 might be a bit high. I am a bit biased because I really like the speedrun for it and the cheese strats. But even if you're not using cheese strats, it's just really fun. Especially with 2-player. Not that I want to judge this based on 2-player because I barely played it, but yeah, a roster of 6 characters, they all feel different. They're all really fun. All these different moves. It's really a lot like Hyper Contender, but it's I don't know if I'd say it's less frustrating, because it can definitely be brutal. But it just feels like less annoying, if that makes sense. It is hard to like come back from a deficit though. And I think the CPU should be toned down, so that's why I'm giving it a 9. Black Koala. This one's probably my hottest take. People don't like how slow Black Koala is, but I think this is one of the most perfect games to add to a collection like UFO 50, because you can just do one level, peace out, play some other game, and then come back and do one level. And it's 50 levels long, it's very long. Just cute, fun, puzzling. You know, I get people being tired of block puzzles. You know, I was definitely tired of block puzzles after Void Stranger, but when it's so well done, it's hard to hate. And I get that Black Koala is slow, but who cares? You're playing a video game, you know? You're already wasting time, technically. Although time spent having fun is not wasted. Campanella, easy 10 out of 10, this is one of my favorites. It's just so fun. It's just like the whole game is routing. My favorite part of speedruns is routing it. And you just figure out where to go, what color do I need to be, you kind of reverse engineer solutions. And my only complaint is that it's too short, which I've said before, that's not really a complaint, that's just saying that you liked it. Yeah, this is one of those perfect games, same as Pin Golf. Campanella. I do like this more than when I first played it. I probably would have given it a 5. But yeah, Campanella, really fun. I like the coffee. I take points off for the ability to soft lock yourself out of one of the coffees if you hit the levers. I think that's a little bit cruel and unusual punishment. But I do like it. I wish every level had that one of those infinite fuel refill bubbles. I think that would make it a lot more playable. Going for all the coffee. But really I didn't have any troubles when I went for the coffees. It's just kind of annoying when you have to check every single spot. I wish it was a little bit more conspicuous, but I mean, it's supposed to be a secret, I guess. Whatever. Yeah, and then the final boss is kind of yucky. You just have to wait for forever until she throws the right color ball. But I really like the food boss. I like the Ferris wheel boss. I don't like the basketball boss. The bosses are a bit hit and miss. I like the bonus game. There's a lot to like about Campanella, so I feel like I can't give it below a 7. But I don't think it's good enough to be a 9 or a 10. Alright, Golfaria. This is another one I would have put as a 1, but once you play it and you start getting upgrades, it's a lot of fun. You start mapping out the world in your mind. And there's so much to do, so much to explore, so many upgrades. So many secrets, like that secret room. Yeah, Golfaria just ended up being a big surprise to me at just how good it was. I give points for the beginning being pretty annoying, and the final boss felt a bit half-baked. I don't know if people will agree with me on that one, but I don't know, it was like, you get to the final boss and you're like, okay, just, can I be done with the game? The exploration part is great, and then they just kind of fumble it on the last boss, but it's still a pretty good game overall. So I think it's definitely an 8 or a 9, not quite a 10. Big Bell Race. This might be my hottest take, giving a 10 out of 10 to a 5-minute game. But it's just fun. We need more games that are just fun. Just a fun, chill racing game where you run around and try to see how fast it can go. And all sorts of goofy power-ups. Yeah. Literally nothing bad I could say about Big Bell Race. The speedrun, and that's not even something 90% of people care about. The speedrun is kind of annoying because of how the checkpoints work, but I don't know. I don't want them to fix it and then all the speedrunners will grumble. I'd grumble if they changed stuff about Magic Garden or Onion Delivery. Although both those games did have pretty big changes. You can't do those weird dirt boosts in Onion Delivery, and you can't grab potions instantly in Magic Garden because they patched that out. Which is probably better, but it makes me sad when I run through a potion. Warp Tank. I'm trying to think of what bad thing I can say about it. It's a little cryptic. The scrolling is pretty gross. Bosses are great, levels are great, secrets are great. I wish that they would tutorialize that the coffees weren't on the arena levels, but I figured that out. Yeah, the Warp Tank, that's another one that's basically a perfect game. If they fix the screen scrolling, I think that's literally all they'd have to change to make it, like, a 10 out of 10 I'd be super duper proud of, but even with the janky scrolling, I still give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, Waldorf. This one, I would probably rate a different number depending on what day of the week it is, because my opinion on it changes a lot. It's very fun. It can be very frustrating. I think the cherry is one of the most fun cherries to get, because it rewards you for being slow and thinking, and you have to deal with a lot of the weather. Probably one of the worst speedrun games, though. But again, 90% of people probably don't care about speedruns. Casually, just a really fun game, really frustrating, kind of like Onion Delivery, but a little bit more beginner-friendly. I think 8 is where it belongs, yeah. Corgi. This might be a hot take, me rating it a 7. I mean, it's fun, it's got good stuff going for it, very cute art, a lot of upgrades, a lot of stuff to find, and a lot of cool secrets. But the whole having to go all the way back every 2 seconds, it just gets stale. Like, before I was even halfway done with the game, I was like, if I do another dive down, I have to spend like 5 minutes getting to the place I want to get to, 5 minutes getting back up, and I can only bring like one thing at a time. Porty is just kind of rough. It's just another very slow game that is actually pretty fun, you know? Go back, play Starfy, play Kirby or whatever. You'll get to play basically the same thing as Porgy, but without the tedium. Onion Delivery. This one's another potentially hot take. I hated Onion Delivery when I first played it. But the more you play it, the more you feel like they did a pretty good job on it. It's pretty fun. I didn't know it was called Zorg City. Chiffon Bolo once had a job as a delivery driver. Interesting. Yeah, I can't give it a 10. It's just a little too frustrating for that. Especially with the rain level. I think this is another game that just needs a couple of tweaks. First off, just not get rid of rain, just add like a little circle around your taxi where rain can't spawn, so that rain can't spawn on top of you. And I think it would be almost a 10 out of 10. It's still a little too annoying to be a 10 out of 10 just by fixing one thing. Alright, Caramel. Yeah, solid 8 out of 10 game. Pretty fun, short side-scroller. Very cryptic. kinda weirdly chill. And I like the cherry for it. Although I wish it was, a little bit more obvious, but... I don't know. They like to make things cryptic in UFO 50, I guess. Photo mom. It is kind of a pet peeve that you can't get all the characters in the credits. That bothers me a lot. Although I'm trying not to make it count for points, but I think it's a solid 8 out of 10. Alrighty, guys. I probably don't even have to say anything if you watch me, you know. Party House is just super fun. Deck building, roguelike. You know, it's got 5 pre-built scenarios and then a random mode, which is where you'll be spending most of your time for the cherry. Yeah, it's just fun. I kind of wish you started with 3 wild buddies instead of 4. Maybe that would make it too easy, though. But 500 wild buddy is a meme for a reason. And I wish the win condition was buy 4 star guests and not have 4 show up in a party. It adds to the difficulty, but not really in a fun way. In my opinion. Hotfoot. 1 might be a bit too harsh. Good thing I came back. It's got some depth. You know, you got the water bottles, you got the coach throws the beanbags at different spots, you got all the different abilities. But it's another one that just sucks to play. You know what? I'm keeping it at 1. Divers. It probably deserves at least a 5. Great art. I really like the exploration, but the actual combat is so boring for no real reason when you have Brimstone where you actually do stuff during combat. You're so restricted in how much you can carry. And I don't know why your attacks run out of stamina. That just seems unnecessary. And it's such a grindy game too. Like, Grimstone is grindy, but at least grinding in Grimstone is fun. It's not mashing A simulator. This is just like Final Fantasy 1, but without the cool magic abilities. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about Divers. Rail Heist. 10 might be a bit high for Rail Heist, but I really like it. Despite all the rage I had at trying to get that last star. A setting also used by the game Grimstone. Realize it's just very fun. It's like a classic, almost like a Flash game. You just try to get all the stars. You know what, Planet Zoldath does have good music. Maybe I should give it another point for having good music. Since I'm hearing it on the OST. What did I give it again? No, I can't give it a 7. That's too high for Zoldath. Sorry, Zoldath. Where was I? Divers, Rail Heist. Yeah, Rail Heist. I don't think there's anything I really dislike about it. The AI kills itself a bit too often. You know what? Probably a 9. It's just too frustrating at the end. The rest of it is very fun. Vanger, you gotta love Vanger. I don't think there's much better versions of Super Metroid besides like actual Super Metroid than Vanger. You can tell that the devs love Metroid. A little frustrating at some point with like those rock enemies that reflect projectiles. The bosses probably have a little too much HP, but who cares really, it's just fun. It's just a solid game. Rock-on Island, 5 out of 10. Yeah. It's Bloons tower defense, but more frustrating and not as good. I can't give it more than a 5. Good golf, easy 10 out of 10, fun golf game. No way to save or gain lives. The sequel to Mortal hews more closely to Chune's darker original version. I mean, I gave Mortal 1 out of 10 out of 10. Mortal 2 is very different. Instead of strategizing for a bunch of different small levels, you're strategizing for one big giant level. And again, this is another game just about routing and figuring out what to do in what order. And that is the type of stuff I go nuts for, so easy 10 out of 10. I don't think there's anything I really hate about it. Enemies are a bit too tanky for no real reason. I think that's it. Yeah. Fistel. 8 might be a bit high for Fistel, honestly. It can be fun. Bosses aren't great. Man, Devolution soundtrack kinda goes hard too. I like the starting cutscene, I like the mayor character. I like how there's not really much downtime between rounds, or like levels or whatever. The octopus boss kinda sucks. The final boss kinda sucks. I like the elevator, I like the look of the game a lot, especially the final level. Fistel is just a big mixed bag. You know what, I'm gonna give it another point off for those alien enemies, because I hate them. Alright, Overbold. This one I gave a 9. That might be a little high for Overbold. I could move it to 8. Just another solid Smash TV, like, you decide how hard the game is going to be, and how much money you want to have. And I really like the cherry for it. I think that's a very fun and fair cherry. I wish you didn't die in one hit at the start. I think that's a bit harsh. Although it incentivizes you to buy health upgrades, I guess, but dying in one hit doesn't feel good, especially if you're on like round 3. But yeah, pretty fun. Final boss is a bit unfair, because you're gonna die to it before you figure out all its moves, like multiple times. I'm sure there's someone out there that's cleared the final boss on their first attempt, but it just feels like too much. They have infinitely spawning enemies that charge, that explode, and they have a dash, and they shoot projectiles. That seems like too much. Especially when you're dealing with other enemies spawning. I like the upgrades, I like the bounty system. I don't know, I can't put it below a 9. I like it too much. Campanelle 2. This is probably the weakest of the Campanella games. I really don't like that you die in one hit from, like, the tiniest fall. Feels like the enemies just do a little too much damage, and the fuel is a little bit too rare. Cherry's a little weird to get to. I don't know if I've done the gold ending yet. Can be fun. I feel like the actual game itself is fun, but it just has so many little annoyances, like the tiny health bar, the fact that fuel is so scarce. You get like a tiny amount whenever you get a star or whatever. But it feels like Spelunky, but with less freedom, which doesn't feel great. It just feels like, why wouldn't I just go play Spelunky? I mean, you would have basically the same experience if you just started with a jetpack and Spelunky. Because you could fly around. Hyper Contender. Yeah, I agree with the 8 out of 10 I gave. I agree with myself on that one. I guess, that makes sense. Hyper Contender, very solid. Very tense, very fun. CPUs are really annoying. Seems like a game that would shine in 2-player. I like the characters. I think some of the characters are a bit too hard to play. It's genius design that the jump button does something different for everyone, though. There's some great characters in it. Maybe 9 out of 10, actually. It's a hard game, but I do think it's a fair game. Especially when you get better at it. So I'd give it a solid 9. Valve Race, I gave this one an 8. This one, it wouldn't be so bad if the map wasn't so teeny tiny. There's a map spell, but I couldn't figure out how to use it. I wish, like, out of all the spells to make really obtuse to use, they didn't do the map spell. Because I didn't understand how to use it. I feel like the map spell should be an easy one, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm just whining. The combat itself is fun. The cherry is obtuse as all hell. I never would have got it without a guide. Yeah, the Valve Race is just fun. I don't think I'd ever play it without a guide, though. Also, they better release that full-color hint book someday. I want to hold them to that. Rakshasa. Even death won't stop Zhang Ji from avenging the destruction of his village by demons. I thought about giving it a 10, but I pushed it down to a 9. I don't know, it's a great 2D side-scroller. It's probably the purest 2D side-scroller, aside from, like, Nidpeck. You know I love 2D side-scrollers. The end lag on landing is so rough when you start out, and then you kind of get used to it the more you play. The fly enemies are pretty annoying. The upgrades are pretty good. Yeah, it's just a fun, solid game. I really like the feeling of slowly getting better at it, and just how brutal it is, and yet approachable. I think Rakshasa might genuinely be one of the best designed UFO 50 games. In my heart, it's a 10. I think it's worthy. It's worthy. You have my respect, Rakshasa. Whoops, I right-clicked. Mini and Max is not the purest 2D side-scroller. It's more of a collectathon. It's like doing a bunch of quests. Anyways, Star Wasper. You're an elite member of the Star Wasp. This one sucks. I can't justify anything that's in this game. It's just too much on screen. It's just awful. I cherried it, so I can say that, and you can't say skill issue. It's just bad. It just feels bad to play. The last level is major ass. The final boss is just, like, underwhelming and easy. It's such a mishmash. The hardest level is the space level, which is, like, the second level. And the second hardest level is the final level. It's asteroid, they just suck. The drones that shoot the homing missiles, they suck. So much of this game just sucks. I can't give it above a 1. I can't live with myself if I do that. Brimstone. This one's a solid 7. It's way better than Divers. Like, they raised the bar so much after Divers. You know, the combat, you actually, like, make decisions in the combat instead of just mashing A. I mean, you still do a lot of mashing A. Pizza Party Time in my chat says Diver is greater than Grimstone. We'll see if the community agrees with you after I rank this. This massive game. Grimstone made you fall asleep? Dang, I guess you must be allergic to Peak. You know, just for that, I'm giving it a 10. Nah, I can't give it a 10. It has a lot of missteps, I think. Forced grinding. The enemies just do like a little too much damage. The heals do too little healing. You have all these item spaces, but you have to use them for like just healing items. Or magic items that you use to heal yourself. Most of the gameplay choices are decided in the first 5 minutes when you decide who to save in the bar. But I still love the game. And I do not like RPGs, so that's saying a lot. The combat is great. I love the time-based combat. I think YouTube just paused it. I was listening to that, YouTube. Oh my gosh. They interrupted my rant. Anyways, yeah, solid 7 out of 10. Maybe an 8. More an 8 than a 7. Just a bit too grindy, a bit too annoying. And they patched it to make it even harder, which... I don't know why they keep doing that. They want to, like, devalue all the cherries I got. I swear, they keep making things harder. Unless, your paint chase and they go, this game is so ass, we're gonna make it easier so people don't have to play it as much. You felt like you were playing an actual 80s JRPG too much. No! No, my fake retro game selection plays like a retro game. What am I gonna do? Was that too mean? I'll apologize if you took offense to that. That might have been too mean. Patch only intensified the 80s JRPG. Yeah, though, if I had to carry around antidotes with 2 item pages, it would have been way rougher. Fine, lots of folk love it. Lords of Disconia. 9 might be a bit high. It's fun. A little too long in the rounds. Some of the maps are just like a little bit too big. And you have to do so many fights before you clear a campaign. But the actual gameplay is fun. The moving around on the map, trying to decide which resources you care about, is fun. The recall mechanic is pretty great. Yeah, Lords of Disconia. Hard to find much to complain about in that game. Night Manor. Yeah, I agree with the 8 I gave. I don't think I'm gonna change my ranking. Oh, Mooncat, my beloved. Night Manor. It has a few annoying things. The jewelry box being borderline invisible is one of them. The puzzles are ultra cryptic, but that's kind of just point-and-click adventure games in general. I mean, having to dodge the murder every 2 minutes does get pretty old, pretty fast. But it's hard to dislike this game. First off, it's beautiful. Second off, I do like the puzzles, as cryptic as they are. And third off, the story is surprisingly in-depth. And you end up liking the characters a lot. Alphazar's Hat. This is in my top 3. This is easily one of the best games in the collection. It felt a lot like playing Kirby or something for the first time. Yeah, this is one of the best games. I saw, like, what was clearly, obviously, Rage Bait tier list that put this in C tier, and I was like, going to punch my modder. I love the enemies in this game, I love the roll, I love all the different upgrades you can get. This game took the upgrade from Star Wasper and said, oh, what if we put it in a good game instead of a game that people hate and is bad? And it's like, oh, I get it. It was a good mechanic, it was just in a bad game. I like the mechanic. I still don't like the other game, though. Pilot Quest. This one, I could rank any of these numbers and agree with it. The idle game, it has awful, awful final boss, like secret final boss. -1. You want to give Pilot Quest -1, John? That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I like idle games, I like classic Zelda type games. And then you combine them. And it doesn't feel as good to play as Zelda. It doesn't feel as fun as an idle game like Cookie Clicker. It's just kind of eh. Yeah, probably a 6 out of 10. I mean, it's cute. I'll keep it at 7. It's cute. You have an emote of the guy from Bursty 1 Noslo. Huh. Minimax, another easy 10 out of 10. This is like the magnum opus. Or is that Cyber Owls or Campanelle 3? This is another one that's really big, but unlike Grimstone, it doesn't drag. Well, it drags a little. I think all UFO 50 games drag a little, aside from Camouflage. But, aside from Camouflage, Alphazar's Hat, and Engulf, my top 3. Magic Garden. Ninpeck. Ninpeck drags a bit on the in-between round stage thing where you get power-ups. That does kind of drag. Waiting for the boss to spawn. There's a couple places. But new players probably appreciate the breaks, so whatever. But yeah, Minimax, you shrink and then you shrink again. And you see where you can go and what stuff you can find. I think it would have been a lot better with a bomber's notebook or something, so you could keep track of quests, especially when you got them like hours and hours ago. But yeah, really fun game. It's another masterpiece. Combatants, it's another masterpiece. No notes, solid 10 out of 10. Combatants, it's no masterpiece. I mean, it's fun once you figure out the jank. You figure out, oh, you get infinite respawns if you have 1 Analive, so you just run in over and over, and eventually you win. The spiders are kind of neat. It feels like you hit a wall in this game so quickly. If you, like, expect your ants to be competent. Which you really shouldn't, because they're ants. I do feel like you would probably have better luck trying to get an actual ant to help you out with something than playing this game. I think the only people that actually understand this game are the speedrunners for it. But who knows, maybe it'll be a misunderstood gem in a few years. But I find it hard to rank it anything above like a 5. I will give it that the overworld HUD is pretty cute. And I like the short cutscenes before levels, where they talk about what your goal is. Actually, I do like the, what's it called? I like the missions where you don't have a queen. Those are cool. And you're just leading a small band. Well, maybe a 6. I mean, people are pretty harsh on combatants. It's at least a 6. Quibble Race. RPM has asked me to run combatants, Cherry, so his isn't the only run for all time. You should say no. That would be funny. Quibble Race. I love that Quibbles are like as far back as like Onion Delivery. They're probably in an earlier game than that. Quibble Race is just short, fun, but there's not much depth to it. It's me, I'm the person who's harsh on combatants. Hi, Gindred. It's okay. You can have correct opinions of my chat. Yeah, Equitable Race, I don't know. I'm never super psyched on it, I'm never super mad at it, so it's probably 7. Seaside Drive, Campanella 3, these are basically the same game. Nah, they're pretty different. Seaside Drive, it's 2D, you're shooting up, you have to go back and forth. My only complaint is my thumb hurts when I have to move the stick and wiggle it, like, for the whole game. The cherry is way too hard. Forcing you to basically not die the whole time. I have the hiccups. Seaside Drive gave me the hiccups. And yet, with all that being said, I can't bring myself to bring it below a 10. This was the game I was most excited to play out of the UFO 50 trailer all those years ago. Back in like 2017, or whenever the first trailer dropped. Was it 2017? I think it was. Yeah. Wow, it has been a while since then. Yeah, the Seaside Drive, it's just... it's so pretty, it's so fun. It's just a really, really solid arcade game. Yeah. And Campanella 3, another really solid arcade game. Perfect end to the Campanella series, so many callbacks, the art is great, I love the enemies, I love the controls, I love the music, I love everything about this. And that's not even mentioning the bonus minigames, which I don't really like too much, but they're there. If you feel like it. Cyber Owls. I can't give Cyber Owls anything less than a 10. You can tell in Universe, Campanella 3 is really the end of the collection, and Cyber Owls was just thrown around. Oh, thank you, John. I was about to ban that guy. And yet, despite all that, it's just super duper solid. You basically get 4 games in one. So it's really UFO 54. Because Cyber Owls is 4 games, and then you have Miasma Tower. I wish Miasma Tower was on here, but I get why it isn't. That would be interesting, seeing a form with Miasma Tower on it, how the community would rate it. I guess I could post one in Code Hunters. But yeah. Cyber Owls is just another perfect game. The cherry is like way too brutal, but the actual game part of it is great. Going for gold is super duper fun. If you're not a ultra completionist, I'd say just go for gold and quit at that. I think that's how you might have the most fun with it. Fun optimization. Cherry is just really annoying, but the actual game, I have like basically no complaints. Especially considering when I went for Cherry, I just understood it more. My response has been recorded. Alright, now it's time to see what the community thinks. Moment you've all been waiting for. Oh no, it's in like an ugly list thing. I was hoping this would be in tier list form or something. Here we go. Oh gosh, these are not in order at all. Alright, let's go... Interesting. Alright, let's go in popularity order. So the most popular game is Party House, which makes a lot of sense. Mini Max makes a lot of sense. Night Manor is a little surprising, because it's a adventure game. It's like a point and click. You'd think people wouldn't be that into those, but Night Manor does have great vibes. Average Metascore is 6.66. That's demonic. Demolition? Is that how much that's rated? Alright, and then we got Mortal, and that's all the 8s. So this is the community top 4. Party House, Minimax, Nightman, or Mortal. Yeah, I'd endorse that. That's pretty good. And then for the 7s, we got Mooncat, Rail Heist, Warp Tank, Seaside Drive, Velgris, Avianos. I'm a bit surprised Avianos is so high, actually. And Mooncat. The community sees the vision. I thought most people would be like, this game controls weird, I'm going to not play it. But it seems like most of the people that reviewed this have actually played most of the games, at least. Oh wait, can I do average by row? Okay. This might be a little easier to read for me. Alright, so Barbuda actually doesn't get the lowest Paint Chase does for row 1. Interesting. So Barbuda gets a solid 6, Bug Hunter gets a 6.4. Ow! Right in my heart, okay. Nimpek gets a 6.2, Paint Chase gets a 5.2. Heck yeah, community, we're joined. Mortal, I might be doing IGN reviewing, and these other people are doing actual reviewing, where like a 5 is pretty good. IGN reviewing is like 7 out of 10 is average. Mortal gets a 8. Hell yeah, Mortal. Velgris gets a 7.7. Nice. Magic Garden 7.11. You know, community, sometimes they can miss. That's alright. Why are people hating on Ninpek? That is a great question. I think Ninpek is one of the best games in the collection. Devolution 6.4. Tactics 6.5. Wow, that actually surprises me a lot. A Tactics better than Devolution. I mean, if you look at it from a numbers point of view, a Tactics has more modes, it has more stuff to do in it. But Devolution has a much more satisfying gameplay loop, I feel. Although I would agree that they are both very good, so I'm surprised they're both low 6s. Planet Zoldath 4.77. Wow, interesting how the averages are so close. They're all like 6 point something. With row 5 having the highest average. That makes sense, it has a lot of heavy hitters. Why are they not organized by number? That bothers me. 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4, 4-5, 4-8. It's not in order. Bugs me. Whatever. Kit Club 6.03. Big Bell Race 5.5? 5.4 on Golfaria. Those are pretty surprising. And Block Koala being 4.3. People do really hate Block Koala. They weren't lying. Wow. Mooncat stays strong though. Bushido Ball at a low 7. I'm a bit surprised by that. Thought it would be a little higher. Warp Tank 7.8. Warp Tank can't even get an 8? What? Are we sure that they interviewed humans and not robots? I don't know a human being that would give Warp Tank under an 8. Are these games and also high? These are games. Yes. Games that I've played that are in UFO 50. And you are listening to UFO 50 soundtrack Block Koala to trigger all the Block Koala haters that are rating this Google Doc. Yeah, Golfaria and Big Bell Race are the lowest of their category, aside from Block Koala. No Spelunky? Yeah, you're right. They gotta get on porting Spelunky into UFO 50. That would really get the game more popular. They should put Aquaria in as like the 50-second game. You have to go to Divers and go to the lowest point on the map and then hit a terminal code that's like, give me more games. Oh, that's too many letters. Anyways, Avianos I'm a bit surprised by. It's a little high. Campanella is a little lower than I thought. Camouflage is also pretty low. Still higher than Bushido Ball. Camouflage getting 7.2. Maybe I really don't get the community. I mean, giving Warp Tank under 8 is insane, but Camouflage? Is this what you're gonna be doing tonight? Yeah. I'm gonna be staring at this spreadsheet. It's gonna be a spreadsheet stream. I should make that the title. Anyways, we got Party House, 8.7. 5.8 Onion Delivery tells you the community is not finishing these games. Yeah. I mean, that's like verbatim what I would have given it before I got my gold. For sure. I probably would have given it a 5. Alright, Porgy got a 6.6, Waldorf 7.1. Ooh, we got 5s and 4s here. Okay, let's see. Divers, Caramel, Onion Delivery, and Hotfoot. I feel a little bit vindicated. I'm surprised Divers is above Hotfoot, actually. I guess it makes sense. Divers above Caramel. I don't know if I can put that together in my head. Diver's better than Caramel. You have a fun, side-scrolling Galaga type game. I can't think of any 2D space shooters that go left to right. The void rains upon her heart, kind of. Hotfoot 4.6, hell yeah! Rock on Island 7. Rock on Island above Onion Delivery by over a point. Wow. Rail High 7.9, okay. Community Noseball. Manger 7.4. A little bit lower than I would have given it, but I'll give that one a pass. Alright, now we got Overbold 7.4. Yeah, that's pretty fair, honestly. Campanelle 2, 6.8. Mortal 2, also 6.8. I don't know if they really need to have this to that many decimal points. I mean, who's gonna read all that? I guess you might as well. Pingolf 7.2. That's a little low, but I'll allow it. Hyper Contender 6.4. Wow! Hyper Contender and Fistel are very low. Fistel I kinda get, because it's very prickly to get into for new players. But Hyper Contender 6.4 seems very low for a game as fun as Hyper Contender. Valbrace 7.4, yeah. People get Valbrace. Rakshasa 6.5. No, Rakshasa is only 1 point above Star Wasper. Wow. Yeah, there's no way they finished Rakshasa and rated it that low. Grimstone 7.1. Yeah, 7.1, that's about what I'd give Grimstone, probably. Alright, Lords of Disconia 6.4. It's a little low. I wonder why they would rate it so low. What's up, Descriptivist? 6.4 on that, wow. Alright, the Night Manor 8.03. I'm kind of proud of the community for, what is a snapshot? How many weeks of these? This is week 20. I think this is the most current community vote. I think there's like a new vote every month. Or week, I guess. So this is like looking at basically the community's first impressions. Although, I think this is the most current one, so I guess they're current impressions. Kindred says, as someone who has yet to beat Rakshasa, needs to get good at it, I understand the rating. Rakshasa is hard, but unlike most hard games like Bulgar the Viking, it's a good game, and not just a hard game. But I don't know if they played enough to realize that, so I guess I'll give them a pass. Anyways, Night Manor stays winning, 8.03. That is really high for this list. Seems like most of the people that rate this rate the games pretty low. Which is pretty surprising, actually, because I have a very high opinion on most of these games. Elphazar's hat, 7.14. I'm gonna throw up. Let me write down some names of the people that said that, and I'll pay them a visit. I gotta ask them some questions. Alphazar's hat like a full point behind Night Manor. Wow. What's the opposite of I'm so proud of this community? Okay, Pilot Quest 6.9, that's fair. Mini Max 8.5, hell yeah. What's the look of the audit so far? Oh, I should tally which scores I agree with and which I don't, and then I could give it a final grade at the end. You know what, that sounds fun enough to do. This community sickens me. Hold on, I'm gonna make a new text document. Here we go, tier list rating, and I spelled it super good. Alright, so let's go row by row. I'm gonna do tally marks. Good rating. Bad rating. Alright, let me finish going through all these first before I do that. Alright, Mini Max 8.5, Seaside Drive 7.7. It's a little low, but I'll allow it. Cyber Owl 6.2! 6.2, Alphazar's hat 7.1. You think a lot of people conflate I'm not good at this with this is a bad game, like I suck at Onion Delivery, but it's a good solid game. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, there's games that are hard because of the controls, and there's games that are hard because they just kinda are. And games that are hard because of the controls, people are kind of biased against. Like Mooncat has kind of weird controls, but you get used to them fast. Whereas Onion Delivery, it has a lot of ambiguity, especially with the different days. Some are hard and bad, but not all hardness is bad. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Clyde. Oh, Clyde, are you the guy on the Discord I was talking to in the Magic Garden channel? Because there was someone that said that they were a mod, but I didn't recognize their name. Anyways, Cyber Owl 6.2, that's insane. Teddy-O is you. Why do you have two different names? Are you on the lamb? Campanelle 3 6.7, Quibblery 6.4. Campanelle 3 is also criminally low for being one of the best games in the collection. Combatants 4.2. Alright, let's go reverse order here. Okay, so first off, we'll do the good rating. So, Combatants, I agree with. Oh, that's not a good tally mark. I can't actually make a tally with a 1 or an L. What about uppercase I? Alright, that'll work. Alright, Combatants I agree with. Quibble Race I agree with. Seaside Drive is fair. Mini Max is fair. Pilot's Quest is fair. I don't think I agree with any of the other ones, so that's a tie right now. Alright, now we got Overbold 7.4. Yeah, I guess I'd agree with that. Campanelle 2 6.8, yeah. Mortal 2 under 7. I can't justify that. Pin Golf 7.25. I love Pin Golf, but I get where they're coming from. I guess I'll give that a pass. Hyper Contender, that's just too low. Pistol. Yeah, that's about right. Bell Brace is about right. Star Wasper is about right. Grimstone's about right. Alright, so if my mouth is right, that makes the bad ranking 3. Oops. Alright, now we got Party House. Yeah, that's a high enough score for it. Porgy. Yeah. Waldorf, yeah. Divers, yeah. Caramel, eh. Onion, eh. Hotfoot, yeah. Knockout Island, eh. Rail Heist, yeah. Danger, yeah. Alright, so which ones did I say were bad here? Oh yeah, Caramel, Onion Delivery, Rock on Island. Hopefully I counted that right, because... Wait, let me make sure I counted that right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, yeah. Alright, now we go to Kick Club. Yeah, that's a fair score for Kick Club. Mooncat, yeah. Bushido Ball, yeah. Warp Tank, yeah. Camouflage, yeah. Amianos, yeah. Campanelle, yeah. Big Bell Race, yeah. Yeah. Don't like any of that. Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 37. Okay, so I need 3 more. So 3 of those are bad. And we got 1 less row. People hate my beautiful wife, Galfaria. Sag. Alright, Barbuda 6. I hate it, but I'll accept it as the answer. Bug, can't see. Impact, no. Pain Chase, yeah. Mortal, yeah. Belgris, yeah. Magic Garden, yeah. Demolition. Yeah, Devolution and Tactics and Zoldath, I agree with. Even if you don't like Barbuda, you gotta respect it and its grind set, yeah. Alright, now time for the last counting game. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 8. So there's 2 more that go in the bad rating. Which gives it a... I'll bring up my calc. Start the calculator. Play the Mighty Isaac? Hell yeah. It gets a D+. Community ranking gets a D+. I'll give you a see me after class, I guess. You wonder how many Steam refunds are based purely on Barbuda? Probably most of them. Not the best first impression. Honestly... What would I even start with? I'm biased, but I think I'd start with Magic Garden if I want people to not do that. Yeah, I have all the DLCs for Isaac. Someone in the Discord talked about how they refunded it and hated it, then rebought it and loved it. The taste differentiator in slot number 1, yeah. Yeah, congrats to the community on getting a D+. You know, pretty close to correct. I don't know why the average is so low. I guess people don't like ranking things 10 out of 10. Maybe that's the letterboxd effect. But that is going to do it for this episode of UFO 50, the spreadsheet episode. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Thanks for watching.